Hello, welcome to YouTube. This is a video about old British money before 1971 when we went decimal. Now, today's system, the pound consists of 100 pennies, and that's it. However, the pre-decimal system was much more interesting. I'll explain. There were 12 pennies to a shilling, and 20 shillings to a pound. So this made a total of 240 pennies to a pound. Now, I'll begin with the old penny. It was written down as 1d. D actually comes from the Latin, it's denarius, and then that's just a little hangover. All our coinage is based on the Romans, really, because even the pound sign is an old kind of L. And then you can see that in Italy as well. That's or when Italy, before they went over to the euro, had the lira, they often used the pound sign for lira as well. And it actually comes from the term a pound of silver. So originally a pound would be worth a pound of silver. Now, here's the old penny, or 1d, or whatever you want to call it, and it has Britannia on it. And then we have Elizabeth II on the other side. And this isn't actually worth one modern penny. This is actually worth a little bit less. And then we have a halfpenny, otherwise known as a ship halfpenny, because it has the Golden Hind on it, which Francis Drake sailed around the world. And the head side is the same as many other coins of the period. And then there's also the farthing, which I dropped on the floor. And this is a quarter of one old penny, and it has a wren on it. And this was in circulation up until the 1950s, when it wasn't considered worth very much money. Now we have the only brass coin, which is the old threepence. It's a pretty coin. It has a portcullis on it. And there's Elizabeth II's Gaelic portrait on the back, or I should say the front, really. And this coin actually replaced the old silver threepenny pieces, which were in circulation before, until it was decided that the silver was worth more than the actual coin itself. So they discontinued doing the silver and replaced it with brass instead. And doubling the value, we have the sixpence, which has a pretty design of thistles and things on it. Yes, they have a clover from Ireland, Scottish thistle, Tudor rose from England, and a leek from Wales on there, and pretty much the same portrait on it. This sixpence was actually still in circulation even after we went decimal in 1971, mainly because it could be used interchangeably with things. It was worth 2.5 new pence, the pence we use today. So, and as we had the decimal halfpence in circulation then, that could be used as well. Okay, now we move on to the shilling. Now the shilling is 12 pennies, as I said, 12 old pennies. And this is the English design from Elizabeth II's period. There's a Scottish design as well, with a Scottish lion on it. There's a head side, same as usual. Yes, and they could be used in England or Scotland or wherever in the UK. And this was actually translated into 5 new pence. And then the 5 pence shrank in the 1990s because it was just too large for what it's worth, really. Then we have the florin, which is equivalent to 10 new pence today. And there we go. And that has the Tudor rose in the middle, Scottish thistles on the outside, Irish shamrocks, and Welsh leeks on there as well. If you look closely, I don't know whether you can see that. But the florin was actually introduced in the Victorian period, where it was decided that they'd go decimal. They didn't go decimal in the Victorian period, but the florin was actually a revived name from the medieval period, when they used these big coins to trade with merchants in Europe. So that's the main coins. We also have a half crown, which this is 2.5 shillings, or 2.5 bob. The shilling can be used in slang as a bob. It has the shield on for ER, and if you had one of these in your pocket, you had quite a bit of money. It's you had quite a bit of cash anyway. And then of course this begs the question: do you have a crown? Of course we did. That's 5 shillings, obviously, and being that the half crown is 2.5. But unfortunately, I don't have one in my collection. They were fairly rare, so I have a commemorative one from George V, and there he is. And George V was actually Elizabeth II's grandfather. And then we have another oddity, which is the double florin, and this was issued in the Victorian period for a little time. This is 4 shillings or 4 bob, whatever you want to call it. There's Queen Victoria on the back. And yes, so that does all the coins. We also had the sovereign, half sovereign and things, but very, very rarely seen in circulation. In fact, they were bullion coins in the 20th century, so they weren't used at all. Then we get on to the notes. There's the 10 shilling note. It's a very pretty note, nice red colour, with what was it? Britannia on that side, and the Queen on that side. This used to be given to kids at Christmas and things. You know, you found it in your stocking instead of well, it became a 50p. This one. Then the pound note was a similar design. It was green, but it just said £1 on it. Now, of course, we have £2 coins, £1 coins and things, but they were all introduced in the decimal period. So that's a introduction to a pre-decimal coinage, and I hope that answers any questions anyone might have. And if you do have any questions, please ask me. Thanks for watching.